Success Insight shares the stories of the people with passion and drive who make things happen in the world. Here's your host, Howard Fox.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Success Insight podcast. Our guest today is Andrée Martin. If you have been listening to our episodes of Success Insight podcast, we are very active with Andrée in producing episodes because we host a series called Mindset Monday. Well, today I kind of threw a little bit of a curveball. Let's use the baseball metaphor today. And I said, Andrée, I don't really want to talk about mindset today because I have another podcast series that has been on my mind because I'm continually looking at how can I set our episodes apart from, the standard fare that you would see or hear out in the podcast universe. And one thing has dawned on me over this past year, since COVID, and it was really obvious when I started to talk to Andrée about this, is COVID has given us an opportunity to get out. Even though we are in quarantining and practicing social distancing, we still have the opportunity to get out and enjoy ourselves, to exercise, to get some fresh air. And so what I've gone to do is interview some guests about their outdoor activities. And I had, Scott Luthold owns 4Expedition, and he's all about overlanding out in the country and places that a typical hiker might not get to. We had Travis Puglisi, who owns Wandering Mojave Hiking Services. And then we have Adam Pauly, who's coming up soon with Symmetry Trailer. And so with Andrée, I thought, how cool would it be to talk about the fact that golf is truly a solo, in a way, outdoor sport? It's you, this wonderful golf course, nature, and all that it brings to you and the effect that it has on you or can have on you. So I wanted to, again, invite Andrée to the podcast to talk about the experience of this sport that she's so passionate about. She has devoted her life profession to it. And so just want to get some perspective from Andrée about golf and outdoors. So Andrée, welcome back to the Success Insight podcast.
As always, it's great to be back with you, Howard, and to speak about golf and the great outdoors. I can't think of a better topic because I would much rather be outdoors than indoors on any given day. And golf is on recreational property in just about every city across the country. Golf has Audubon Sanctuaries. They are habitats for migrating animals, migrating birds. In San Diego at Fairbanks Ranch, we had migrating birds year round, to the point where one of my members put together this gorgeous book, and it was thick plethora of different birds that I never even knew existed. And then I started leafing through it, and it's like, oh yeah, I've seen this one, I've seen this one, I've seen this one. And then you've got coyotes and bobcats and deer. And then that takes me back to when I was working in Park City. I'd see moose, elk. You'd have to get out of the way at certain times of the year, make sure you didn't get trampled. We'd have to put gates around the greens with electrodes just to make sure that the greens didn't get trampled or debilitated, for that matter. It's breathtaking because you can stand on the tee box and look on several golf courses, and there may not be any houses around you, and just takes your breath away. You can look up at the Milky Way.
Oh, it's funny. That's been on my mind lately is, with the outdoor activities here in Las Vegas. And as you know, I go out to Mojave National Preserve a lot. And especially in the summer, I do a lot of dark sky photography. And I was just thinking, some of the really wonderful golf courses that are in what I would say dark sky country, because there's areas of the country where there's limits on light pollution. And the foreground, the golf course, the greens, the trees, the fairways would be a wonderful foreground to capture that picture of the Milky Way, because it's a composite image. You can literally take pictures of the Milky Way anywhere in the world. Just go find, a boat washed up on the shore. Go find a beautiful Joshua Tree in Joshua Tree National Park, or go to the Parthenon. Well, maybe not the Parthenon It's gorgeous, but there's probably a lot of light pollution in Athens. But some of the major archaeological or travel locations that have dark sky potential. And with the outdoors, I think with the golf course, the thing that was really enticing to me when I took up golf years ago was early morning when the dew is still on the grass. You smell it. It's the smell of it.
Oh, it's just incredible. You feel it, you smell it. There are certain times of the day when I would rather I would get out to the golf course early on certain days just so I could capture a picture of the sun rising with the dew in the ground and even the fog as it would set in, and you could capture it just lifting, and the dew on the blossoms in the springtime. And over the course of the year, as the seasons change, you capture the leaves in the fall and then the sunset at the same time. And I know you're all about photography too, Howard, and just capturing those sunsets. I've got people know I'm crazy about sunsets because I post them all on my Facebook site.
You do.
And I'm finally transitioning over to the Instagram piece on that, but it's just so fun capturing the right moments too. And it takes you back in time and it makes you think of all these different moments throughout your life where you've just experienced that, and the smells and the feelings that go along with that, and how it just opens up the world of possibilities. I mean, it takes me back to college days playing tournament golf. And, I know there's reasons tour players actually camp at campgrounds instead of hotels en route to tournaments because they want to be a part of the great outdoors all the time, because that is a part of you when you're an avid golfer.
When you were golfing, you're out on the course, so you love that early morning to capture the sunrise. And, I can picture the smell. I mean, I feel that way about, coming from Chicago, going out to the lakefront, Monroe Harbor, because they had both power boats and sailboats. But there's something about a sailboat that's attached to one of the cans out there, the floating buoys, and you hear the boat just slightly rocking and you hear the sound of the rigging against the mast. And there's just something intoxicating about that.
It's interesting you say that because I got back here to Maine this spring, early summer, and I hadn't realized how much the sound of the foghorn was a part of Portland.
Oh, yeah.
And the sound of the seagulls off of a lobster boat, and how you could see it from the golf course and experience it and smell it, the smells that go with it, and how it shifts from, I've been very blessed. I've had jobs in different parts of the country. I mean, and then it takes me back to Utah, where you've got the smells of the forest, and it's more pines. And then you go into Arizona, where you've got the mesquite and the wood of the mesquite and the burnt smell of the desert, like you're experiencing there in Vegas. And then you go off to California, where you've got Northern California, Pebble Beach, which is a combination of the northern or northeast and Midwest and Northwest territories, where you combine the ocean and the smells and the sounds and the openness.
Right.
And then you go down to San Diego and you've got even a sweeter smell because you're combining desert with ocean, and the torrey pine and the palm trees with a whole different sound. And then you got the animals, the variation of all the birds that go with it, and the animals that traipse through the forest. It's just incredible.
There's this old saying, I know you've heard of it, just, stop and smell the roses. And it's literally, you can do that out on the golf course.
Absolutely.
How
Absolutely
does that experience of being out on the course, walking the greens, and the other smell, by the way, the smell of freshly cut grass.
Oh, there's nothing like it.
Yeah. It brings back a bad memory of having a grass cutting business when I was a kid, but the smell of freshly cut grass is like, oh my God, it's just wonderful.
It takes me to the Masters when I took some junior golfers and we hit Amen Alley just as all the mowers were in succession. There were 6 mowers on a fairway, all mowing one side by side to another. And so you had the smell and the sound of the mowers and the beautiful light of the spring with the azaleas in full bloom. Oh, there's nothing like it.
Fantastic.
Nothing like it.
What does the weekend player, what are they experiencing from being out on this course? I mean, a lot of what we have talked about in our Mindset Monday episodes is doing the things you need to do to, stop, work, think about what you want to accomplish, begin with the end in mind. This is how I'm going to play this hole.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Does the stopping and smelling the roses, so to speak, or the greens, looking at the birds, does that come into play?
You've got a lot of different levels of player, a lot of purposes and reasons for playing golf. You've got the early dew sweepers that want to get out, play golf, enjoy, and take in all the smells that we've described before they play. Then you've got your mid-morning players that just want to enjoy the day outdoors. You're going to have all ability levels in each of these areas that I'm describing too. So you are going to have those serious folks that are taking all those things into account that we talk about in Mindset Mondays. By the time you hit noon into the afternoon, you've also got your folks that want to let go and drink some beer. Just have a laid back, relaxed time playing golf. Maybe tune in to whoever's playing that particular weekend in golf and play that and enjoy the round. Or maybe it's a football game or baseball game that's going on simultaneously, or just listening to music and having a drink while you're playing. Or just play that round as a true golfer, a diehard golfer, and then go into the 19th hole at the end. The 19th hole, outdoors or indoors, has its own experience. Takes me up to, I think, about Spanish Bay. They've got a gorgeous landscape with these gas fire pits, and then you get to watch the bagpipe player at the end of the day, and you time it just right. You hear them play the closing of the day bagpipe song, and you just pause and have that glass of wine and look at the ocean and smell the green grass and look at the gorgeous green surroundings. You don't even need to be a golfer to enjoy that. It's just breathtaking, and it's all outdoors. There's so many different ways to enjoy it. There's so much to talk about with the great outdoors. Lots of adventure and excitement.
There is that, and that's why we're definitely looking forward to on the outdoor series is to really start to explore how individuals are taking advantage of the great outdoors.
Yeah.
Over and beyond COVID-19, how people have decided, I've had my career, I'm done with it. I need to pursue something I'm really passionate about. Mm-hmm. And they're out there doing it.
And to take golf is now crossing over too. You've got a lot of golf courses that also offer the water sports. It offers fishing. It offers, both fly and cast fishing. You can cross over, and then certain times of the day, like St. Andrews, it becomes a park. It's a great way for everybody to enjoy the great outdoors and exercise.
Exactly. And heaven knows I need more of that. Andrée, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you, join us on this new series, the Outdoor Series for Success Insight podcast, and I'm sure that we'll have other topics. And by the way, when you were talking about the trees and the birds and the flowers, for our friends down in Florida, the alligators. Oy.
Oh, I have got a great alligator story.
Okay, let's hear it.
In college. So I'm out practicing one day, and we've got this big dogleg left par 5 called the Claw. I'm a USF grad, folks. And there's a gator on the island in the middle. And it was a known gator, 10 to 12 footer. And I'm going back to my apartment one day on my bike with my clubs on my bag on my shoulder. And I'm watching this guy throw a Frisbee to his dog. And I'm thinking, you're crazy. I'm not going to tell you what I saw the next day, but folks, if you see a gator, run zigzag.
Yes.
Don't let them catch you.
No doubt. No doubt there. I don't want to know.
The great outdoors is to be enjoyed by all, and there are safety measures and a lot of fun to be had indeed in many different ways.
And be respectful of the wildlife.
Of the wildlife, absolutely.
Fantastic. Andrée, if our listeners would like to learn more about you and your work, where are the best places for them to go?
Best places to go is to andreegolf.com. That's Andrée with 2 E's. I have LinkedIn, a Facebook site, YouTube, and Instagram. Love to chat.
Of course, and we'll most definitely provide links back to the website, andreegolf.com, as well as to your social sites. And folks, if you are in Maine, or I know Andre's eventually heading back to Southern California, if you would like to experience the great outdoors on the golf course, Andrée Martin is your golf pro, and do check her out, okay? And in the meantime, do check us out on successinsightpodcast.com. All of our outdoor series episodes are going to be on the site. And do let us know via your comments and likes what you thought about today's episode. And you can also visit us on LinkedIn and Facebook at successinsightpodcast.com, as well as the podcast platforms, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Pandora, and Amazon Music. And we are also on YouTube as well. Okay, folks, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, go out there, enjoy nature, get some exercise, have a phenomenal day. When necessary, wear your mask and practice social distancing. And we will see you on the next episode of the Success Insight Podcast. Take care now.
Success Insight is a production of Fox Coaching and First Story Strategies. Find us online, successinsightpodcast.com.